your shit. Need a horn and a drum roll. Turn up, yeah!
I never talk to them boys that sit on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sit on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
Now it's time to go to work.
Mic check. There we go. That's better. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. What is going on, Florida State family, Seminole Nation, and the 863 tribe? Big recruiting weekend is in full effect as we speak. Some other big news broke. I don't know if everyone's aware yet. But before we get into the breaking news and then some other recruiting news, y'all know the deal. Hit my like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And share the videos. Micah Pittman is out for 4 to 6 months with a hip injury. It's being reported that Micah Pittman, he did put, remember I told y'all, if you want like real insider information, just follow these guys' vlogs. So he puts out a video on YouTube. He's having hip surgery. I think he's a torn labral. So that is 4 to 6 months is probably, on the short side. Sucks because this is his senior year. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if he maybe you try to, 4 to 6 months, man. Then you got to rehab it. If I'm Micah Pittman, maybe I'm getting another, maybe I'm trying to get a waiver and see if I can get another year of eligibility. But that is really the breaking news as of right now, man. Is a Micah Pittman is having hip surgery. 4 to 6 months is the timetable. It's looking like a labrum, which is like basically, I'm looking it up. So the hip, so what is a hip labral, which is what he has. Okay. He has a hip labral tear, which is an injury of the labrum. So he tore his labrum, which is called a labral tear. And yeah, so I'm just looking it up, and it's a cartilage joint. Tough, man, tough injury. But if there's one thing, one thing we can say is there's a deep room, and we know in the deep room, somebody's going to have to step up, and I expect somebody to step up. Shout out to Chad Kinsler with the $1 dono. No comment. Appreciate you, man. let's go with this.
Yeah, more money, yeah, more money, yeah.
So yeah, Michael Pittman's out for 4 to 6 months. Again, he was probably working the slot if I had to guess. I think there's plenty of options at the slot. You obviously hate to hear that he's getting injured. If anything, you're gonna miss him in the punt return game. Now it's gonna be, do you put Winston right? I guess that's the big question. Remember, I didn't think that you put Winston right back there at punt. I thought at minimum, Michael Pittman at least deserved to continue to be your returning punter or punt returner, returning punter, punt returner, same thing. I figured he'd continue to be that. If he did a great job at, if nothing else, fielding punts, right? Well, now you got to wonder, maybe you take, I don't know if you have Winston Wright and, I don't know if you have Winston Wright on punt and kick returns. Maybe you choose one or the other. If you're going to keep Winston Wright on kick returns, do you put him on punt returns, or who do you put on punt returns and vice versa? So that's probably the biggest place you're going to miss him is the punt return game. Not saying he wasn't a valid, you probably miss him blocking on the edge as well, but I do think we have receivers in the room that can give you what Micah was giving you offensively, at least in a receiving aspect. Maybe that hard-nosed blocking, maybe someone's got to pick it up there, but we'll see. We'll see what goes on. That's sort of the big news. Then there's some other big news that I actually no one's reporting it. I don't report news, by the way, but I did watch an interview, and I felt this was fairly interesting or kind of big that no one has kind of talked about this. And if someone has talked about it, I haven't seen it. Before we do that, since we got a little bit more people in here now, we're going on about 30, which is okay. We'll do a quick, and I see the chat kind of moving a little bit. Let's do a quick roll call. Then we'll go get into the next bit of information that I want to get out there. So let's do a roll call in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shine Life is in the building. Truth be told, Till Dog, Island Boy, Jeff, Jonathan McIntosh, Michael Adams, Chad Kinsler, Terrell Thomas, Vontae B, member of the 863 Tribe, Jamal M, Terrence, member of the 863 Tribe, Big 3 T2Y, no longer Hurricane T2Y. He doesn't want to deal with that trash anymore, and I don't blame him. I wouldn't associate my name with that trash either. Big 3 T2Y in the building. Will's in the building. Panama Jack, Brandon Brazier. Briley's in the building. And Let's Get It, and Michael Adams in the building. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in on this Saturday night. So the second bit of information that I found was interesting. And again, I don't know if no one just takes it serious or no one's picked up on it yet. Cam Davis. He has basically shut it down. From the words out of his own mouth is he is basically shutting down. He's about this close, I'm guessing, to shutting down his recruitment as a whole. He basically came out and said he's seen everything he's kind of need to see, even before this weekend. He's just kind of done with the process, according to him. According to him, he's just done with the process. And Cameron Davis, according to 247, 45 player nationally, the 4th overall running back, one of the top 4 running backs in the country, regardless of the site you look at, has basically kind of acknowledged that he's kind of done. He's kind of done with the process at this point. And I thought that was pretty big news. That's pretty critical in my humble opinion. BB, what's good with you? Big Bus, Raymond James. That's pretty critical for really one main reason is you gotta. I'm not gonna say you don't have to recruit him anymore, but if Cam shuts it down and he's not taking any visits, if he does indeed shut it down and doesn't take any visits, obviously you still got to recruit him. But man, that's a big weight off your back to know that he's not visiting the likes of Alabama or Georgia. Probably the two biggest competitors in this recruitment. So that's huge because you can focus now. You can focus elsewhere. Again, not saying you don't focus on Cam, but anytime a guy shuts it down, he's usually shutting it down for a reason. And FSU has a ton of major prospects on campus this weekend. I saw one name already in Charles Lester, who I thought it was some clickbait last night, but that's just how I viewed it. As something came out saying that he almost committed, but he didn't. I felt like so no news, basically, right? So, but now you can focus 100% on that. Cam has also talked about focusing his time on recruiting players to Florida State. He wouldn't give a name, but he said this guy that he's got is about this close to recruiting as well, but he would not give a name or a position that he played. So I think that's pretty big, man. I think that's pretty big. Shout out to Big Three, Seminole T2Y in the building with a $5 dono. He says they going 7-5 now. No ACC or playoffs. Well, I don't know about playoffs. I take it one step at a time, but we still in the ACC, bro. We still in that. We still going to the chip. But I appreciate you, T2Y, and for that, I got something for you.
Bitch, be humble. Bitch, sit down. Be humble. Sit down.
Timmy in the building. What's going on? I don't know if I said Panama already, but what's up, Panama? I don't know if I saw you earlier, but what's up, Panama Jack? Yeah. Nasty Nate. What's going on? I watched the video. I watched that interview, not clickbait. Now I was talking about Lester clickbait, not Cam. Unless Lester did a video that I didn't see. Not Cam. Cam is legit. I was talking about Lester. I didn't see anything on him. It was just people talking about he almost committed last night. Bruh. Cam is not going to Colorado, bro. Deion's got everybody. Deion's got Miami fans scared now. We're done. We're not scared of Deion no more. We ain't worried about Deion. Let's get it. Says cough, Landon Thomas. So I thought that was, and they did a whole bunch of videos, by the way. I didn't watch all of them. I really just watched two. Kind of the only two. I'm not gonna say the only two I cared about, but they were the only two. Let me go back and look. Because they're both committed to the program already. And that was Luke and Cam were the only two that I watched. And Luke sounds like he's but they've got a ton of them, man. Like just 12 minutes ago, BJ Gibson's interview dropped. The 5-star tight end Elias Williams. If y'all want to watch these videos, let me know. Maybe 247 will copyright me. I don't know. I don't really care. But like I said, a bunch of interviews dropped. Even a couple 5-star quarterbacks on campus. 4-star linebacker Peyton Pierce. Just a bunch of videos has been dropping this weekend. Yeah. So I didn't watch this video, but Charles Lester did drop a video saying after he talked with Jameis, I guess he was close to committing again. Commit or don't commit. I don't know what close to committing means, but enjoy your process, man. I ain't mad at him. I'm just saying I don't understand what does it mean? What does it mean to close to commit? So, Desmond, yeah. This time last year, remember Rick's got a crystal ball to Florida State and everything. Though this isn't a Rick situation. Let's be clear. I don't think Lester and Rick's is the same at all. So I don't want to compare them, but there you go. There's so many. There's a bunch. There's a bunch. And not all of them I necessarily care for, I say not all of them I necessarily care about. But man, I'm gonna just read some of these names off. Obviously, we know of Charles Lester, 5-star DB. We know they got a couple 5-star quarterbacks. Butler Tolson, but he's a 25 kid, so that's critical. But then they do have a 24. Oh no, that's not a quarterback. I'm sorry. This is a linebacker. Here's an interesting. I want to hear. Here, this is what we'll do. I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up this interview just because I haven't listened to it, and we can all listen to it together. Because I'm interested in this one.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's see if y'all can. Okay, y'all can see that, right? All right. I want to watch this one. This is 5-star linebacker. Now we've been talking about linebackers for a while now and how we need to pick up the recruitment here. I'm interested to see what this young man has to say. You don't look like a linebacker, but that's just his head. But we'll see. We'll see what he look like. Here, let's see what the guy says. It's only a 3-minute interview.
The stadium, everything's crazy.
What did you do last night as far as because you got here last night? Did you go to the Legacy dinner?
We walked around. I talked to Coach Norvell for like an hour.
Okay. What y'all talk about?
Just what he fits, what he wants me to play here. He wants me to just play defense. Play all the way around the field and just help the team win the championship.
Were you surprised how much you liked it, or?
Kind of shocked me a little bit.
Okay.
This is the biggest stadium I've ever been to.
Okay.
Why was it so important for you?
I'm
to
gonna
get here? I
pause.
know you've
Let me
been
pause
kinda
that.
working on it
Let me pause
over
that.
the past few weeks. Why
Now-
was it so important for you to get to Florida State?
He said that's the biggest stadium. Now I've never been to Athens. I've never been to that stadium. What's the name of that stadium in Athens? What's Georgia's stadium there? I don't know. Anyway, I've never been there, but it always felt or thought it was a big stadium. Now, he's committed to Georgia, so has he never been there? He said that Doak is the biggest stadium he's ever been to. That's a very interesting comment in and of itself. That Doak is the biggest stadium he's ever been to. And he's committed to Georgia. So either he hasn't visited Georgia, which wouldn't surprise me in today's day and age. Georgia's won the last 2 natties. It's very possible that he committed to Georgia without ever going there just because they're Georgia at this point. But I don't think that's the case. But let's continue.
They've been recruiting me the hardest. Ever since from my 8th grade year coming into high school, not even playing a game, they've always been texting my phone just make sure I got here. And this is the first time I got here, and I'm gonna be back.
Okay. Can we
with
stuff
Coach
Kirby in a
you
locker?
most with, during the 2 days you were here.
Coach Norvell.
Coach Norvell,
Yeah.
any with Coach Shan or any other
Yes,
coaches?
sir. He was with me the most.
Okay.
So Norvell's leading this recruitment. Okay.
Coach Shane, I like him a lot. He loves blitzing. He loves all of that, and he really knows a lot about the game. And I feel like if I play with him, he can do something with me, and I'd be special.
Did they talk at all about how you could eventually fit into the scheme here on defense or anything like that?
He said I'm playable. Just be a defensive player, not no linebacker, not no safety. Be a defensive player.
Okay. So
Obviously committed to another school.
I'm
right now, but
eventually
where's-
this guy I'm
where's-
gonna pay attention to. I'm gonna pay attention to this guy for a couple reasons. So when I first looked at him, I thought, it doesn't really look like a backer. Sounds like he's a bit of a hybrid tweener guy. Maybe in high school he's a backer. Maybe they see him at the next level. Maybe he's not as big. Maybe he's more of a safety. What's his name? Jaden. I don't even know how to pronounce that. But I'm gonna look him up real quick. I want to see. I just want to see his measurables real quick. Trying to find him. Give me a second. Let's just go to Georgia's class. Why not? That's the easy way to find him. Okay, I don't even see him on Georgia. Is this guy a 25 guy? This might be a 25 guy. Okay, he is. He's a 25 guy, not a 24 guy. So that's my mistake. He is not in this upcoming class, and he's 6'3", 200 out of Beaufort, Georgia. Jordan Perlette, whatever. Let's continue listening to this one. So he's actually a 25 guy. Okay.
Florida State, are they making you think about that decision? Kind of where do they stack up in your recruitment?
I mean, it's on the top of my mind. If I'd pick any other decision, Florida State would be the place.
Is there a thing that you're looking for when you go to these different schools, even though you're committed to Georgia? I mean, is there a certain thing that you're looking for in each visit?
Just relationships. I mean, me building those relationships with everybody goes a long way. If the coach keeps texting me, that's the school I want to be to.
What do you think about the former players coming back this weekend and getting to see the ceremony for Jermaine Johnson and everything?
It was good. I mean, they've been through the process, so I really paid attention close to that. Jameis Winston's, I talked to him a little bit. He had a good speech, and he's been here, and he's a Heisman winner, and I just want to listen to somebody that's been through it.
What kind of stuff did Jameis tell you?
I mean, he just told me how this is a traditional place. I mean, if you want to be great, come here.
Mm-hmm. About their product on the field, Jaden. Obviously, they had a big season last year. Did you follow anything of what they were doing during the season, or how much have you been following what they're doing?
I remember watching them play against LSU. That was one of my favorite games of my whole career, watching college and stuff. That blocked field goal was really special to me.
When do you plan on returning here?
I'm definitely gonna be back here when they play LSU. Want to see that game? Be down there. It's in Orlando, so I'm gonna be back here. Mm-hmm.
What are you expecting out of them this season? How much do those on-field results kind of impact your recruitment?
I mean, they're gonna ball out. I have no doubt in my mind they're gonna ball out, and just them. If they have a good season this year, I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on them. And something special might flip. You'll never know.
He said something special might flip. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna cut it short a little bit there. So they got a long time to work on this one. But he sounds like he's not just taking a free trip. He sounds like he's pretty interested in Florida State. I didn't know he was a 25 kid, but that's good though, because they got a long time to flip that one. Let me look at, is there anybody else you guys? Let's listen to Charles Lester, because I didn't watch this interview, so we can listen to this one together as well.
I step on the campus, I mean, it just mean the world to me. I bring my bag today if I can, but today it showed me a lot.
The first thing I'm gonna pause. Looks like his fam's behind him. Anytime you get family on campus, y'all already know that's the big key, number one. I'm assuming that's his fam behind him right there. Now, obviously not everybody, but probably mom directly behind him. I don't know if that's a sister or whatever, but that looks like fam that's behind him. Just my first observation. Oh, by the way, I think that Dodge Ram y'all see right there, well, they're just a Ram. I'm pretty sure that's Jackson's Ram.
It was the most biggest impact of any other visit I had coming here. Just being able to talk to Jameis Winston and seeing their first practice hitting aside. Usually I don't see no hitting unless it's on game day. So to be able to get that experience to see how they actually practice behind closed doors, I mean, it's mean the world. I mean, just as you've seen, the teammates, they show more and more love every time I come here. They just let me know that, once I come here, everything you see is what you get. I mean, they're going to push you. They're not going to let you slack. What's that, But I mean, yeah,
I go
man,
Fuller.
It's just a dream come true, man.
That's definitely got to be
like I
Mom.
said,
That's
I
why he
bring
put his
my
arm
bag.
around Mom. That's definitely Mom right there.
I don't want to go home.
What was Jameis Winston's message to you when you talked?
I mean, he just told me that. I mean, whatever I want to be, I just have to attack it. I mean, I can be the best defensive back if I put my mind to it. It was mainly, his way of saying to me was, I mean, just never give up, keep being the same you, and just come to Florida State to be a part of the change now. He truly believes in Florida State football.
You watched the intensity of the practice with the DBs. You got to see Coach Surtain.
Hit the like button.
What did you kind of see as far as what they do, what you like about his teaching, and just your impressions of the DBs?
With Coach Surtain, I've seen a lot of different stuff from what I seen when I was here before to Washington. But Coach Surtain personally, he pushes the guys any other coach out here. But, he do have his unique characteristics about coaching cornerback. I would love to. I'm coming back to keep learning from him to be able to sit next to him while he coaches guys. So I can come play for him one day.
Were you close to committing on this visit?
Close. Right now, I want to just say I want to do it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna rush it.
What's the timeline looking like?
Right now,
Well, I'm not mad at him.
I'm
I'm not mad at him for saying he's not going to rush it, and I'm not mad at him for not being a prisoner of the moment. But what you take from that, I think, is not so much that he didn't commit. I think what you can take from that is it shows that I think that they seem to be knocking it out of the park per se in this and what they're doing this weekend. Would you like to have seen him commit? Sure, but what's the point of committing if in 2 months he was gonna, be exploring other options? So I don't mind it, man. I honestly don't mind him taking his time with it. I wish more young men would not be prisoners of the moment and take your time, let it digest a little bit. If you feel the same way in 24 hours, hey, there you go. But he's going to go other places. I mean, one of, if not the best DB in the country, at least at corner, depending on where you see him or where you list him at, he's going to have all the big schools whining and dining him, so to speak. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
feeling right now.
It's speeding up?
It's speeding up.
Okay.
It can go. I don't know. The way I feel about this place, man, I've been committed to it. But just time-wise, I'm probably just going to wait it out.
Okay.
I mean, at heart, I committed a day yesterday, and I love this place. I don't want to leave.
I hear you. You obviously talked about Coach Surtain's, ability to coach, but what's he like as a communicator? Just getting to know him personally, what's that been like for you?
He's all about producing young men before football. So the very first time I talked to him, he let me know that he's big on building young men. He's big on making sure the guys are living with the right morality. So that's his biggest thing. I mean, he's going to produce the best cornerback of yourself, but most important,
Go Jermaine in the background right there.
important to me and make sure before I leave here,
So no Jalen, no Derwin, but Jermaine and Jameis were on campus. So that's a plus.
Are you going to be a corner or a receiver? Because I hear you love receiver too.
I'm gonna be a corner.
Did that have anything to do with that guy?
To be honest, at this place here, I'm looking for spending time on both sides of the ball.
Gotcha.
When are you looking to get back here for another visit?
I know June 23rd for official.
That's locked in.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anytime I'm open to come, and if they're open for me to come, I will be here.
Is Ohio State the only other scheduled visit for you?
No, I have Ohio State June 16th. I have
Okay, so Ohio State.
Georgia June 9th.
Of course, Georgia.
Florida State June 23rd.
Okay, so those three OVs are locked in.
So if we get them,
any other
if we get them
unofficials
last,
locked in?
we should be good.
Ohio State April 1st.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure. I think I'm going to stop by Georgia tomorrow.
Okay.
But as of right now, Ohio State April 1st.
Ohio State sounds like the team that we're in the battle with. But I think it was said before, I think Leicester's is FSU's to lose. They would have to probably royally screw it up from everything he's saying and the way he sounds. And he sounds very genuine. You can tell it. I don't, just from me watching him, I'm not some psychologist or anything, but some of these guys are more, some of these guys are better in front of a camera. Not saying Leicester's not good in front of a camera, but I think he was wearing his emotions on his sleeve in that interview, personally. And yeah, I'll say that. Terrell asked, I have a question. Maybe it's stupid. Does Jalen Ramsey have some weird beef going on, or am I seeking too much into the situation? And I don't think Jalen has a beef with Florida State. I think when you look at someone like Jalen or even Derwin, or you look at a lot of those kids from the 2013 class, like a lot of, I mean, when's the last time Dalvin was back? This staff didn't recruit none of those guys. Of course, they're Florida State alum. They can always come back, but, you know, Jermaine's back. Now, Jameis comes back, but Jameis, you know, Jameis is the Heisman winner. It's a little bit more to it when it comes to Jameis Winston. He played baseball and football. Granted, his baseball coach ain't there no more either. But even with all of that, I just don't think a lot of these guys know these guys on this staff. I mean, outside of Odell, no one on this staff was around those guys. So I don't think it's a beef with Florida State. I just think, you know, I don't have a relationship with these guys. And if I can make it, okay. If I can't, you know, that's just the way that's just the way I view it. But I don't really think it's a lot to take into. Let's see. So that's those two. I think this guy right here, Jason Zamandela, didn't he just recently get a crystal ball to Florida State? I feel like he did. I want to see if there's anybody else I want to listen to. Let's listen to Peyton Pierce. Let's go with Peyton Pierce, and then we'll go with the offensive lineman, and then we'll end it with those two. I don't need to listen to every single person, quite frankly. What about BJ? Y'all interested to hear what BJ Gibson has to say? Well, let's go with Peyton Pierce first, and then we'll.
It was great. I've never been to Florida State or Tallahassee. We came to Destin for spring break and decided to take a trip, and it was worth the trip. I didn't know what to expect. I've never been here, and it was real eye-opening. And I'm really considering this now. Meeting Coach Norvell, he's a really great coach, and I think Coach Shannon and just everyone that they have on staff is pretty unbelievable and super down-to-earth people and really good coaches, and it shows with the players that they have and kind of what they did this past season. So it's been a great visit. I will definitely be back.
What made the trip so eye-opening?
I mean, I've never been, so I just didn't know what to expect, and I've never met Coach Norvell. I mean, I've been to a bunch of schools around where I live, and coming out here is it's a little bit different, and I didn't know what to expect, and it's blown everything out of the water, like just in my thoughts of what I thought it was going to be like. I didn't know if Florida State was on the beach or what. Like, I didn't know anything about it, just being from Texas. And like, even from their strength staff is unbelievable, meeting them and talking to all of them. And then just their coaching staff and the players that they have, their practice. I've been to a lot of practices. I've never seen a head coach so enthusiastic and involved in everything that they do. And so it was pretty special.
So how long have you been talking to Florida State, and what were those conversations?
This is a 7-minute interview.
What do you think they'll be like after your visit?
I mean, I've been talking to Florida. I got offered last summer, and I've been talking frequently. Like, I've been talking with Coach Shannon for since then. He's came down to my school to visit me, and it's just kind of far, so I never really had a chance to go up there or up here. And so I've been in contact with Coach Shannon for this long, and then we've been talking about coming up, and I was like, this is kind of a perfect opportunity with being in Florida, and so we decided to make the trip.
This Texas, I wonder if Texas is in on this one.
Like maybe this has had an impact on your recruiting. Kind of what has it done to the recruiting process for you, and how does it shape how you feel about where you are?
I mean, it's like every school I go to, it like changes everything. Like I swear my top schools change like every day. So, but yeah, I mean, this has left a really big impact.
Well, at least you're honest. That tells me Peyton Pierce is every school he visits, it changes his top. I would take very little from this interview. At least he's honest about that. You can take that for what it's worth. I'm just gonna take it at face value. I'm gonna take the young man for what he said. He said, I'm trying to find him, but he said, you know, his top schools change after every visit. So let's see what else he has to say.
It was a really special place, and I wouldn't be saying that. I mean, if I liked it, some places I like, and some places I don't like, and this is really one of the places that I really like. Just me being me, even the campus. It was really, it's just a lot different than what I'm used to, and I kind of like it. And just from the school wise, and then with this coaching staff and how unique it is, and just the program that they're building here is super special. So that's kind of what stuck out, and that's kind of it's changed a lot in the recruiting.
Did y'all talk official visit at all?
Yeah, we've talked about me coming back up, which I will be. I'll be coming back up. Just we're trying to get all the official visit stuff scheduled, and I've only got one official visit scheduled, which is Ohio State. But everything else,
Ohio damn State again.
So just
okay.
Because I'm gonna have these kind of spring recruits.
So this is what happens, though. This is what happens when you start recruiting back to where you're supposed to be recruiting. We've seen for the last 2 videos with 2 key targets, Ohio State. So, this is what it is, though. When you're recruiting at the level you're supposed to be recruiting at Florida State, Ohio State, the Georgias, the Ohio States, the Bamas, these are the schools that are going to continuously come up in the conversation. So I'm not too surprised by hearing Ohio State again.
Officials to kind of pick my last 5 schools or whatever it may be, and then use those for my officials this summer. And I want to commit before my senior year.
And what is next on the unofficial visit list?
Oh goodness, we were supposed to go to Michigan, but we canceled the trip. We just didn't want to take that. I knew I wasn't probably not going to go there, so we who would that be next? It would be Ohio State next in a couple of weeks. Yep.
What did you see from Coach Shannon during the practice yesterday, and also the linebackers as well?
I mean, well, right when we first got here, I did position meetings with Coach Shannon, and he asked me to pick out a NFL team, just any NFL team, and I was like, Dallas Cowboys, and then he told me to pick another team that they played this year, so I picked the Buccaneers, and we went to their playoff game. He literally put up the film and went through, like, he could show me exactly what they were going to do before every play, and it was mind-blowing. I was like, and it was just really simple stuff, looking at the running back. I mean, you could see, like, Patrick Mahomes, if he was going to throw it or not. We went to a different game with the Chiefs, if he was going to throw it or not, just based off his stance. And it was just crazy, like, how simple it seems and how easy he made it look. And it was pretty crazy. And then I got to sit in linebacker meetings and how the players interact with Coach Shannon and then go out to practice, which was unbelievable. I mean, it was a high-energy practice. There hasn't been a lot of practices like that I've seen.
You mentioned, this visit blew things out of the water for you. I guess, where does Florida State now stack up in your recruitment?
I mean, they're right at the top of the other schools. I don't really have one school that's kind of particular in front of another. It's just it blew things out of the water in what I expected, and so I think they're right up there with the rest of the groups that I have a check for. And so I've kind of got my schools that I really want to start looking at, and the ones I don't. And there's no one really above each other, but they're starting to
Okay, let's hear those schools. I'm curious. Obviously, Ohio
The Ohio
State.
State visit, is that stuff for like June?
Yeah, it'll be a June
Okay.
official visit.
Is that when you want to take most of your officials?
Yes, June.
Got you. And then what's your decision timeline looking like?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish these spring unofficials and then take all my officials this summer and then make a decision before my senior year. I don't really want to go into my senior year without a school.
Clearly, a lot of stuff, Peyton, surprised you on this visit. But is there anything unique about this visit? Because you've been in so many places that's kind of different than maybe the other schools that you've already checked out?
Yeah, I'm only still listening because I'm curious to see if he's going to name these other schools.
Winston's here. That was pretty cool. There's a lot of things. I mean, I've been to a lot of campuses. I haven't been to many campuses that have palm trees. Like it's just weird looking at stuff and how much different Florida State is than just the schools kind of from around where I am and their coaching staff. I mean, almost everyone's been at the NFL level in some way, and Coach Norvell really my meeting with him has opened my eyes a lot into what kind of program they are and watching their practice. I mean, I've been on so many recruiting visits. I don't even want to do any other recruiting stuff anymore. I just want to watch practice and see what it really is like. I've been to so many, junior days and recruiting stuff. I just want to see what's real and what's not. And so being here, watching practice, sitting through meetings, seeing what it's actually like as a player has been real eye-opening, and I like it a lot.
You mentioned Jameis Winston, seeing some of these former players that are back here at Florida State this weekend, getting a chance to watch the All-American brick ceremony for Jermaine Johnson earlier today. What was that like?
It was awesome. It was really cool because I'm not too familiar with Florida State. Like, obviously I am on a wide level, but like seeing how much these people at the university give back to after they've graduated, like Jameis and how much and Jermaine and all these other former players, how much they care about the program after they leave. It shows what kind of university this is and what kind of program it is.
Okay, that's it with that one. And
it was great.
Sorry. So what do you guys think? What are you guys' thoughts on that so far, man? Like I said, to me, I was hoping to hear a little bit of hoping to hear like him give a list of schools, but I didn't quite get to hear it, so I just don't really take much from the interview. But everybody's saying good things. Panama says, I'm not being racist at all. When was the last time FSU had a dominant player at linebacker? I'm assuming he meant white. I'll say it for you, Panama, since you don't want to be racist. When was the last time FSU had a white dominant player at linebacker? I can't think of one. Anybody want to answer when the last time FSU had a pilgrim, a.k.a. colonizer, a.k.a. young white brother at linebacker? And I agree with Riley. His name is Blake Nicholson, and he's on the way for sure. He definitely likes it. I'm about to look at, here we go. So I'm looking at linebacker. Peyton Pierce is 143 nationally, 6'1", 225. According to his recruiting profile, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Ohio, all these up north schools are in the running for this one. So us being the only Southern school, that could be one that could keep us linked in there. That could keep us linked in there. Any other interview you guys want to listen to? Daryl Bush is the first that comes to mind. Not in the past. Not in the past, I think. Everybody, two people have said Bush, so who's the I mean, I guess the word dominant for me is what kind of is like, I can't think of one dominant, but we had a white safety. I forget his name back in the day. And then I remember Bud Thacker at defensive tackle. He was solid. I wouldn't call him dominant for sure, but he wasn't a bad player. Those are just two guys off the top of my head that I can think of defensively. Then, of course, Bjorn Warner, if we're talking about just not at linebacker. Like, I'm not talking about linebacker. I'm just talking about all around on defense. Of course, you got Bjorn Warner. I think, would Bjorn be the most recent? I think he probably would be. Sandra, how are you doing, ma'am? So that's all I can really think about. I want to do one more. So let's make this one count. I'll tell you what, we'll do two more because I want to hit up on Jason Mandela, just because he I believe he got a crystal ball got a crystal ball recently to Florida State. So that's a big deal. So let's hear what the guy that they said, is going to maybe be one of the next guys coming. I'm interested to hear what he has to say. I believe he got a crystal ball. I could be wrong though. It was him and another one, right? It was Jonathan Daniels, and then wasn't it another? And it was this guy. I think it was this guy. Maybe it was this guy. It was him and Jonathan Daniels. So let's hear what Zan Mandela has to say, and then I want to do BJ Gibson, and then we'll wrap it up on the interviews. You can see I was already listening to this.
Jason, big visit for you, this weekend for a legacy weekend. But what was it like? What kind of things just jumped out to you about this visit?
Definitely, meeting the past guys, the alumni, especially the brick ceremony where Jermaine Johnson cut the turf. That was like, they really do have love for the alumni, so that meant a lot. And overall, just watching practice was good too.
What did you kind of notice with either Coach Atkins teaching? I guess first part, what did you like about that? And then two, just what did you notice about the offensive line that just really jumped out at you? I
mean, I definitely noticed that Atkins coaches hard, and he coaches them with tempo. Like they don't walk on the field at all. It's all fast paced and everything. I really like it like that.
Were there any takeaways from what the players said today? Jermaine, James, anybody else you spoke to while you were here or heard speaking today while you were here?
Definitely the fact that even with all the coaching staff changes, that the meaning of the program is still the same. That meant a lot for sure. That means that, new coaches come in, they're just about what the program's about, and that meant a lot.
You're obviously around Coach Atkins a lot. What was kind of the message or topics y'all talked about this weekend?
We just spoke about what we speak about all the time, him wanting me to be here because he feels like I belong here. And yeah.
How do you feel? Okay.
I feel.
Jason, how did the last 2 days impact your recruiting process and your timeline and all those things?
My timeline hasn't changed. I'm still planning on committing July, but
okay. So this summer.
Tough.
You've expressed that this staff feels real to you. What was it like this time around, and was there anything different about this time versus all the prior visits?
Not at all. Same thing every time. Feel welcomed here every single time.
Yeah.
Did you catch up with Lucas at all?
Oh yeah, I did.
What did you and him chat about?
We spoke about how practices and like the tour of duty and everything went for him, and he was like, it's a real deal, and I'm ready for it. So.
You mentioned USC, Oklahoma, a couple others when we spoke about it.
USC, Oklahoma, okay.
Spring visit plans for you?
I'm visiting Miami April 1st.
Don't waste your time. Don't even waste your time.
Maybe Oregon as well. But
Oregon.
We'll have to see.
Summer
recruitment sounds a little bit all over the place for a guy that's recruiting in July.
I just scheduled my official for FSU on the last weekend.
I ain't mad at him. Do your process how you feel fit.
Are you going to get back
Oklahoma, USC, Miami, Oregon?
Oh, yeah. I'll be here in the spring game.
It's a lot of flyer miles out there.
Did you meet with Coach Norvell this time around?
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't waste my time going to Miami.
Spoke about the same thing. Him wanting me to be here.
I wouldn't waste my time going to Oklahoma either.
And he said that no matter where you go, you just have to make sure it's a great fit for it. And he thinks that Florida State is a great fit for me.
You've said.
Okay, that was quick.
All right, man.
I don't want to listen to Elias. And then we'll do BJ next. Let me go to the comments real quick. Insane was good. He says, Georgia going hard for Cam. Hope we can keep him. Go check the beginning of this video if you feel that way, Insane, and then we can have a conversation on whether Cam goes anywhere or not. Maybe some of these white linebackers we're recruiting can be the next Urlacher. Well, I wasn't a big Urlacher fan, but if you give me Luke Kuechly, I'll take that all day. Urlacher's more of a that he was a great linebacker, 20 years ago. What was the Urlacher last play of football game? I don't know, like 2010 or something like that. Very old school type of linebacker. Shout out to Jermaine and Jameis for coming through. Can always depend on them. And I want to listen to BJ, man, and then we'll move on from the interviews. But I thought this was all pretty good stuff that they did here, man. And or at least when you have this big of just again, these interviews, I don't really take anything from them if I'm being completely honest with you. But seeing the amount of quality players has to be exciting if you're a Florida State fan. The thing that, and this is the stuff I was saying, like, we got to stop pretending like stars don't matter, because if stars didn't matter, none of y'all in the comments would be this excited about half of these guys, So they got a little different caliber of athlete that's on campus now. After you win some games, keeping cohesion and all that continuity in the program, everybody's getting raises. All this good stuff that's coming with it. Battle's End has upped the NIL tenfold. So it's no coincidence or surprise with the caliber of athlete that's on campus now. Let's listen to BJ and see what he got to say.
Being here, I would ask, what do you see new? Because you've been here like 8 times. But what did you like so much about today?
It was good. Get to see the former guys come back and talk to the young and recruits and tell them how it was done back when they played, and everything's still. The coach is great here.
You grew up a fan of them, so I know you were big when you were watching Jameis Winston up there with the ceremony and the brick ceremony with Jermaine Johnson. What was that like?
Jameis Winston's a good guy. He's a legend at Florida State. I watched the. All I can think about when I see Jameis Winston is the national championship game when he beat Auburn. Okay. Yeah, it was a good game. Jameis was a good guy. He's had a great career.
Did you get to who ordered you to talk to, like guys like that?
Oh, I got to talk to. I didn't really talk to none of them. I just talked to. I was really Coach Dugans the whole day.
Yeah.
What was that like? Just being around Coach Dugans? Is there anything new you discussed, or?
No, sir. It's the same.
You're smiling, so he must have did something silly.
Oh no.
Okay.
This Coach Dugans. That's my boy.
Okay. What was this purpose of this visit for? Was it mainly just to get back here more and be around the players, or what was why you wanted to be here today?
Yes, sir. And the Legacy Weekend, I thought it'd be pretty cool to come back and see the former guys, say what they had to say about it, and how it was done when they was there. And
so. How's your relationship like grown with Coach Dugans and that sort of thing with him?
It's been pretty straightforward, Coach Dugans. He's been the same ever since the first day we met. Relationship's gotten better. Over the time, of course. Obviously that's why I keep coming back. He's a good guy, and he's recruited me really well.
Yeah, and what about Coach Norvell? He's a guy
Coach Norvell has a lot of energy, man. That's my guy. He's turned the program around. He's really turned the program around. He's bringing the great stuff in, and those guys are really turning this thing around.
Were you here just today, or were you here yesterday too?
I got here this morning.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What's kind of left for you to see with FSU? Is it watching practice? Is it watching game? What's next for you? What do you want to see the next time you see FSU?
Probably a spring game. I'll probably get back down in the spring game and see how that thing goes. Maybe even a spring practice.
Okay.
See, get around Coach Duggan and the receivers and see how the practices work, and get to see the buildings.
Being a fan of FSU, you've seen the dramatic change from what they did last year. What's kind of your excitement level, what you see from the passing offense as a receiver when you look at them?
They got some top receivers like Johnny Wilson. I think he'll be our first round pick soon. Yeah. Pokey Wilson. Pokey Wilson's actually I'm trying to count it. It's like 30 minutes from my house.
Okay.
So yeah, he's a native around my area, and he's a good ball player.
How are you feeling now about FSU? You said, I think lastly you said, yeah, they're at the top, you know, or number one or something. I don't remember, but how are you feeling now about FSU?
I mean, it's been the same since last time I saw y'all. I mean, they ain't moved no lower. If anything, they got higher. I mean,
Okay, that's good to hear.
And I come down here, and it's a good thing about it.
But they expect Dugans to have a good class this year. I think a lot of people are expecting Dugans to have some, you know, back-to-back really good classes.
I mean, I know that when I come here, that if I choose to come here, I mean, those are guys that I know that I'm gonna be around because I mean, those are good guys, high-level athletes. I think with Cam Davis a 5-star. Yeah. Luke's a 4-star quarterback. Yeah, man, Luke's reached out a couple times. Me and Cam's talked occasionally. Yeah, that's good. No guys like that to be around me if I do choose to come in.
Has Luke talked to you about having throwing sessions with him since you're a receiver and he's quarterback?
I think we might have come out on my Instagram post or something like that. We might have had a little joke in there.
We got you.
Here's some on social media.
Are any of the schools recruiting you the way FSU is, like the I guess the intensity and that sort of thing? How hard they're recruiting?
Yeah. Probably maybe not as hard as FSU, but I do have, I mean, a few schools that recruit me. I would say not equally as hard, but
who are these schools?
Who would those schools be? The schools that are like standing out with them?
Probably right now the two highest ones under FSU is probably like Georgia Tech and Florida.
Georgia Tech, okay, not worried about that one.
Do you have any?
Florida and Auburn. Auburn's always a thorn. Auburn's always like a thorn in the side.
Do you have any plans set to get back here already?
Yeah, Florida. We'll see what Billy.
Up for a spring game.
We'll see what Billy got up his
under his sleeve. Do you know when you might be
taking
taking your official visits?
Too worried about Billy.
I don't know if I want to do
especially if that quarterback play looks the way I think it's going to look this year. Yeah, not really too worried about Sunbelt Billy down there.
What's the timeline decision for you? Is it just any time?
We'll cut that off short. So that's all the interviews we're going to get to today. We sound like we're in a good position for a lot of these guys, but let me get to some of these donos, these super chats. My man Jeff in the building says it's a big recruiting weekend, and I don't know how many of these guys will get, but hopefully we get our share of high. I think we will. I honestly think we will. I've always thought that this class would be at least top 10. I think, you know, at worst, you're talking the top 15 class. I expect the top 10 caliber class. And yeah. So, yeah, I think we will get our share. I think we will. And I got a new video for you, Jeff. So thank you for the $20, brother.
My name is Jeff.
Let me play it again. It didn't.
My name is Jeff.
He says, Peter says, shaking my head there. Hold on. I think it's the platform I'm using. You put an emoji in there, and I can't see exactly what it says. So I got you, Peter. Oh, he did a super sticker, and the guy's like, how's it going? He's got his head in his hands. Got it. See, I couldn't see it. But shout out to Peter, man. With the dono. And there we go. Let's do this one.
I'm in Tallahassee, I'm with the Seminoles. I've been getting to this paper, focus on my goals. Trying to run this money up and pull up in the road. All this talking gangster, that shit getting old.
Damn right. You're damn right. But hit that like button, y'all. Again, share the video. Subscribe if you're new. But hit the like button.
Go your motherfucking ass to sleep. Whoa, shit, what the fuck good buddy hit me with? I told him I wasn't sleepy. He had to have a brick in that bitch.
Hit my like button. Smash the like button just like Greg Jones smashes DBs. Todd, who do you think will be the second string quarterback? I think it'll be Tate. I'm not ruling Duffy out at all. I think it'll be Tate, though. And if it's not, I'm not mad at all. I just have a feeling it'll be Tate. I just have a feeling it'll be Tate. Briley says if it's top 15 and not top 10, it'll be because of raw numbers. I think if this is top 15, maybe a guy flips here or there. I mean, you never know, right? Recruiting's fluid, as they say. Anything can happen, as they say. NIL is a key factor. Obviously, Florida State's NIL is in a good position, but I don't know. You never know if somebody has a late push and throws a crazy NIL at a guy and you get him to flip. Like, there's a lot of things that can come into play. Again, at worst, top 15, which I wouldn't be mad at. But I expect the top 10 class. But I would not come on here and be upset at top 15 because I do understand the way recruiting works. So there's that. So, yeah, man, I mean, they did 3 practices this week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think they go on spring break, so there won't be any practices next week, and then they'll get back to it when they get back. If you missed the beginning of the video, Micah Pittman is out 4 to 6 months with a torn labrum. That's a hip, so he's getting surgery. 4 to 6 months. That's probably being nice. Could be longer. Today's medicine could be shorter. If he's out for the season, because let's see, it's March, we'll say April, May, June, July, August, September. At best, he's coming back probably August. He probably still has to rehab. I don't know if the rehab's included in that 4 to 6 months. Not so sure. Probably not. He probably needs the 4 to 6 months just to heal from surgery, then rehab it. In my opinion, Micah probably misses the season. That's okay if he can get a waiver, get an extra year. Nobody would be mad at that. And just from a football standpoint, not downplaying his injury, but from a football standpoint, I don't think we're hurting too much at losing Micah Pittman. I'm just being honest. The only way I know how to be. I've been saying it before he got hurt that I felt like a Ja'Kai Douglas or somebody else can give you that production. And I think with Micah going down, it does nothing but make someone else have to step up, and it's a deep room, and guys are going to be chomping at the bit to get in that rotation. So I fully expect somebody to take that spot and to flourish in it. So again, I think the biggest position that you're going to be hurting or miss Micah at is going to be that punt returner. We have to find a guy who can field punts just as good as he was doing, if not better. Briley says, I think Tate is taking the next step as we speak. Early intel is positive. His accuracy and decision-making. I wish he was 15 pounds heavier, and he needs to be more than 1 or 2 re-QB, but we'll see. Yeah. I expect with the competition for Tate better make a step. Let's put it like that. And again, I think he'll be the backup. But he better take a step. And if he doesn't, the same thing you've heard, the early intel on Tate, I'm hearing early intel that AJ Duffy is coming on strong, So I said it maybe this past week. When you got a healthy QB room, you'll start to see healthy QB room is going to lead just a healthier team overall. Because how do you think you get a Trader or a Gibson? These receivers are going to want to play with these young quarterbacks. And it started with Duffy, in my opinion. And you got Brock, who I think is maybe a little better than the ranking suggested. And I wasn't hugely high on Brock, but just seeing how athletic he is, he's a lot better of an athlete than I anticipated. And he's a big kid, and he's got all the tools. He just needs some coaching. I think Brock is. I think we're good. I think we're good in that quarterback room. I really do. I think we got a healthy QB room. And then you bring in Luke coming in here. And man, oh, man. You bring in Luke. Chris, I got to let – I've been saying I've been going to do this. So, Chris, you're going to get – of your own video too, just like Jeff has his own video. Chris, you're gonna get your own because Chris, you always come in here with Orlando on the check-in. But just because of that, Chris, I just gave you a wrench. You deserve to be a moderator on this channel. Shout out to Chris, man, and you will be getting your own video here shortly. because every live stream it's Chris with a $10 dono. What up, Pope? Orlando want to check in, so be looking for that one. You're gonna definitely have something on here that says Orlando on the check in. Shout out to Chris, man.
Clickety clank, clickety clank. The money goes into my piggy bank.
And again, y'all, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Smash the like button like Greg Jones smashes DBs.
Go your motherfucking ass to sleep. Whoa, shit, what the fuck good buddy hit me with? I told him I wasn't sleepy. He had to have a brick in that bitch.
Briley says, any way you slice it, we have the best QB. Oh, in the state by miles. No, absolutely. That's not even like a troll or anything. That's just the truth. Definitely better than Gainesville's. I think Miami's building a healthy room. I know they lost Jake, but you did get TVD to come back, which is good for them. And TVD is only going to be a red shirt junior. So have this year and next year. Ja'Cory got playing time as a freshman. That's valuable for him. Then you did bring in another freshman in Emory. So that's at least you're building it. But definitely the best QB room in the state. That's easy. Caveman says, not wishing anything bad for you guys, even though I don't want to see y'all win. Who you a fan of, Caveman? But respectfully, are you comfortable with your backup QB if anything happens to Travis? We got to see who the backup is. Tate showed some stuff last year, and in the situation he came in, he won a football game. So that counts for something. AJW's an unknown, obviously, and then Brock Glenn's not going to play unless everybody gets hurt, which I don't expect. Yeah, I'm comfortable. Personally, I'm comfortable. There's no reason for me not to believe that everybody isn't taking getting the proper progression. So I think we're fine. I really do. Does the offense maybe change a little bit without Jordan Travis? Maybe. But I think we're fine. Panama says Pittman will be missed for fielding punts and perimeter blocking. The guy was a bulldog. I agree with that. Duffy need to jump. Tate, says Roy. Let's get it. Says, man, I'm excited for the summer recruiting. Jordan Travis has tree trunks for legs. And Vontae also hopes that Duffy passes. Oh, my bad. Vontae hopes Duffy passes. And Caveman says he's a hurricane. Wow, I did not know that, Caveman. Shout out to you. You're actually a Hurricane fan that's actually here. I don't know how long you've been around, Caveman. Subscribe if you are not subscribed. Appreciate that. But most of your brethren don't show up here anymore. So I'm just happy that you're here. I don't get a lot of y'all around here anymore. I can name the new King Gods and the litany of Hurricane fans that used to be around no longer show up. The Maiden Days just don't show up. Shout out to Caveman. He says, I'm a Hurricane brother. Enjoy your takes on your FSU. Nothing but respect. Nothing but respect for you. And then Briley says, honestly, I'm getting there. The O-line improvement will help give Tate time, and with all the other weapons, we'll be able to get by a lot of games without heroics from the QB. O-line is definitely going to play a part with Tate. If you go watch Tate, I think his biggest issue was, I think the game was too fast for him. And I think something happened in the Louisville game where after he threw that pick, and I don't know, if it just started processing faster for him. I don't know if I don't feel like watching the game. They simplified it at all. And maybe they did to a degree, but watching it live, I didn't feel like they called the plays any different. I feel like something just clicked for Tate Rodemaker, and we'll see if it continues. We didn't have to see him for the rest of the year, but maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see. And Todd says the guys look much bigger. They are bigger than last year. We spoke on that. But this is the time of year, man. We that we knew we would be excited. We knew. See ya. We knew, right? I'm just I'm ready to see spring. I'm ready to see some hat on hat action. That's really where I'm at right now. They're doing everything right. They've been doing everything right this whole offseason, where it's been to the point where there's nothing to criticize, which is a good thing. It might not be great for content sometimes, but I have no criticisms that I can think of. I don't know. Briley says they simplified the reads, one read or half field, but the concepts were the same. Yeah, he did look like a deer in the headlights. He usually looks like a deer in headlights for that first pass of the game, Jeff with another 20 says the offensive line, I'm not sure how good it's going to be, but I think it's going to be real good. It is one of the best in the country. I can't say that I don't know, but I think it's the best in the conference. Can y'all think of a better O-line? I'll ask y'all that because I cannot.
My name is Jeff.
I cannot. I cannot think of a better O-line off the top of my head. FSU just benefited from the fact that they damn near got everybody back. And then the guys that you miss, you're replacing them with veteran college football players. One of the things that I've been preaching about, the portal and what positions and recruiting and portal and what should you. I think they attack the offensive line the best way there is. They recruit. They still recruit it, but they replace the veteran players with other veteran players in Roddick and Jones and now Byers. I think FSU is going to have one of the top O lines in the conference, if not the top offensive line in the conference. I can't think of one better. If y'all can. Now, when you start talking about the country, obviously you got the Georgias and the Bamas because they recruit the O-lines at a clip that, there's 4 and 5 stars across the board, while FSU still doesn't quite have that across the board. It doesn't mean they don't have good players. They don't have that level of athlete across the board, but that's just the way I look at it. I don't see anybody that's putting out a better O-line. I don't think so anyway. Briley says they've been doing everything right since the 0-4 start. A few hiccups and blunders, but the trend line has been ascending for like 18 months. Vontae doesn't think anybody in the conference, because I don't either. What's your thoughts on this Lamar situation? Man, I don't know what's going on with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. I'm just curious to see. I'm just curious to see where he ends up. It's interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen an MVP still in his prime being treated like this. I don't know what it's about, but it's I don't know, man. I don't know. Matthew in the building says, what's up? I'm just waiting like you to see what the spring looks like. We definitely have the best O-line in the conference. And guys that came back not just to win, but win the games we couldn't last year. I agree with that for sure. POLK, it does seem weird not to have any complaints. No, it's a great feeling. It's not weird. It's just interesting. It's interesting because the other 2 schools in the state are in, I keep saying this, man, they are in shambles. They are in shambles from coaching turnover. Both schools in state went through a ton of coaching turnover. Have y'all seen the clips of Mertz at Florida this spring? They think Anthony Richardson was bad. Wait till they see this guy. And Anthony Richardson, he wasn't we all know that the caliber of athlete he is. He's one of one when you talk about athletes. Granted, as a quarterback, needs a lot of room, needs a lot of improvement in his game. I still say the coaching staff did him a complete disservice over there in Gainesville. I'm telling you right now, if Petrino or Gus Malzahn had got their hands on Anthony Richardson, the conversation people are having, they wouldn't be having about AR-15 right now, about him not being a good quarterback. The right quarterback in the right system would have, hell, Chip Kelly would have got his hands on AR. We wouldn't have this conversation. So Billy deserves 90% of the blame on AR's performance last year, in my humble opinion. But if they think that was bad, Mertz is about to crush souls in Gainesville this year. I don't care what you say, BB. I'm telling you. There's no way you look at Anthony Richardson. And I'll be honest, I wasn't high on Anthony Richardson either. But again, when it comes to athletes, he's one of one. He's one of one. But Mertz is about to break hearts down there. He's about to crush souls down in Gainesville. And then Miami posted some clips of their DBs, and them boys look so stiff in the hips. Again, it's just samples across the state of Florida. And then you look at Florida State, and we're hitting on all cylinders. Shout out to the Seminoles. Shout out to Mike Norvell. Shout out to Mike Alford. Shout out to this whole program. We are no longer the jokes of the state. Everybody else is absolutely the butt of all jokes in the state of Florida. The one thing they can say about the FSU is they saw a 5-second clip of Hakeem Williams sucking it in the last drill of the day after doing the entire tour of duty, and Miami fans had the nerve to say, "Oh, maybe they dodged a bullet with Hakeem." You might want to go watch them DBs because I think we might have dodged a bullet with Damari Brown's brother. What's his name that came out of UCF? Yeah, we might have dodged a bullet there. Might have dodged a bullet on that one because boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Murder Mert's about to go crazy. About to go crazy, all right. BB says we'll see. Maybe it won't be Mertz. They got Jack Miller too. I don't know. BB's the resident Gator fan. BB, how you feeling? Is Mertz QB1? Sandra says I'm great. Enjoying your show tonight. Thank you, Sandra. And Norvell Central's in the building. And he says, what's good? Campus was lit today. It looked lit. I saw the interviews. It looked like everybody had a good time. Looks like the staff is doing their thing. Let's see what happens, man. Everything's trending extremely positively for Florida State. Yeah, campus that definitely went dumb today. And BB says Murder Mertz gonna be QB1. So shout out to Murder Mertz. I'm hoping he's QB1 too, because as far as I'm concerned, don't worry about it. I'm hoping Murder Mertz is QB1 too, because yep. We gonna be good on that end for sure. Oh man, but we did an hour and 30, and you didn't see it, man. I ain't gonna find it right now, but you gotta go look it up. They're running they just flipping the hips, and yeah, it didn't look too good. Somebody ring the doorbell. Oh shoot. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. I'm gonna leave y'all with some. Hold on, I'll be right back, y'all. All right. All right. So I'm back. But that's all I got tonight, y'all. That's it. We're gonna have to cut it short. Got some stuff to take care of. But yeah, that's basically what it was. It was those hip flipping drills. And yeah, you seen it, so you know what I'm talking about. But we'll continue sometime this week. Sometime this week. And that's it, man. I want to get on here. I kind of want to just get the interviews out the way and let y'all hear them and talk about the recruiting that's going on in the state. But that's all I got tonight, guys. I'm just looking through some stuff real quick. So hopefully we get a chance to maybe we get some commits this weekend. I'm not too sure. Not too sure. Florida's releasing some more clips. I'm telling you, man, go watch some of these clips. They're absolutely hilarious from the rival fan bases. But as always, y'all, we're gonna wrap it up. It's your boy Pope on 863 Seminole TV. And we'll next Wednesday, we live. Well, next Wednesday, just spring break. We'll figure it out. I'll figure out something to talk about. So I'll catch y'all next week. Stay classy, and we out here.